politics dominated many of the headlines of 2012, and one of the most intriguing people within the Republican Party was Jeb Bush. He chose not to enter the presidential race, but he may have his eye on a run in 2016. Over the summer, in the midst of the race for the White House, I asked the former Florida governor why he chose to stay on the sidelines and what the future holds for the GOP. Why didn't you want to run?
I've got, personal reasons, family reasons that overwhelm any other consideration. And I don't know, this may be a Bush trait, maybe it didn't, but I made the decision, and I made the decision, and it's, I moved on. I got the chance to be governor for 8 years. It took kind of close to a year to transition out, and it was a year to transition into that. So that's a decade of my life that I pursued my own ambitions, and I thought it was time to kind of rearrange my life to focus on other things.
Have you made the decision that you do not want to be president?
I've not made that decision, although I think there's a window of opportunity in life for all sorts of reasons, and this was probably my time. Although I don't know, given kind of what I believe and how I believe it, I'm not sure I would have been successful as a candidate either. These are different times than just 6 years ago when I last ran, or even longer than that. You
know that a lot of people in the party wanted you to run. They thought this was the time for you to run, and that you had the right experience and had the right style to make it successful.
You never know. That's pure speculation. And one thing I know for sure is you don't worry about could have, would have. You focus on the things that you can control, and that's what I'm doing.
Is this party more only interested in sort of less taxes, less regulation, and rather than policies that promote growth and a bigger tent?
I think less taxes and less regulation would actually promote growth, and an immigration policy that's true to our heritage would do the same.
But are you worried about the direction of your party? Having listened to what you just said.
I think on a couple of issues, I worry that it's short-sighted because tonally, and in terms of the tone of the debate, it sends a signal, we want your support, but you really can't join our team. I mean, that's the short-term implications of this. And demographically, Latino voters, Hispanic voters are going to be important this election, but going forward even more so. So politically, I think it's short-sighted. I think there needs to be a lot more intense efforts to recognize the demographics of the country are changing, and our messaging, not our views, not our principles, but how we message our views needs to change as well.
Yeah. When you look at the future of the country, tell me what it is that you believe is sometimes called American exceptionalism, and what do you say to those people who look at the world and they think that we live in a very different world, a different world order, use an expression your father used to use, and that we have to face new realities?
Part of what I define American exceptionalism is that we have the ability to shed skin and constantly be evolving and not be mired in the past that sticks us in place. That is kind of what separates us, I think, from most countries, and that dynamic nature is under threat right now. Upward mobility, I would define as part of American exceptionalism.
Yes.
It's now we're not as mobile as we once were up and down the income levels. We now have.
Why is that? That's a very important point.
Hugely important, and it's related to a lot of things. I would say education is one of the factors. When only a third of our kids are college and/or career ready after spending more per student than any country in the world through 12th grade, and knowledge becomes a driver of success economically more and more and more as we move into this incredibly globalized technological world. You're creating lids on people's aspirations. Family makeup. 40% of the babies brought into the world don't have the father in the home. We have an out-of-wedlock birth rate of 40% in our country, and it's been that way it's been growing. That's a problem. We can play like it isn't and not be judgmental, or that's fine, but it's a problem of building capacity for people to be successful in life.
It is really interesting to hear the governor talk, and certainly many people are saying that he'll be on the short list for 2016.
Yeah. And he was rather prescient about what might be important in the election.
Right, Hispanic voters.
Yes.
Which turned out the minority vote.
That was a bit of an understatement, wasn't it?
Yes. Romney had one of the worst showings of a Republican in a long time among Hispanic voters. And many people say Jeb Bush or Marco Rubio from Florida, who speak Spanish, would probably do a lot better at courting Hispanic voters.
And clearly the Republican Party is doing some introspection about what it must be if it's going to compete for the voters of the future.
Quite often, Charlie, your interviews always go past what we see on TV. Did you get a sense that 2016 he would do it?
I don't know. It's
No?
like Hillary. I just do not know.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
I mean, I don't have a sense of it.
Yeah, I got you.